Hey guys, Erik here with White Line Realty. I'm here with Daniel Fleming with Texas Quest Capital.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And we're going to talk about hard money loans. As new agents, even experienced agents, getting into the investing side of real estate can seem overwhelming. You know, where do you get the money from? I don't have any money, etc. Well, as a White Line agent, we show you how to do this. And one of the ways is using hard money. What is a hard money loan?
Hard money loan is simply a loan that's going to allow an investor to get a loan to buy a property. Typically, these are properties that are dilapidated or need a lot of repairs, something like that. The loan will also include renovation costs as well. So that allows you to buy a property, repair it, create some equity into the property, and then sell it for a profit. Simply put.
It's based off the asset.
Right. So you know, a hard money loan, that's a good point, is an asset-based loan is what we call that. So what we mean by asset-based loan is, first and foremost, me as a lender, I am, when a borrower calls me up, I am first and foremost interested in what is that value going. Where is it located? What's the surrounding situation around that asset? And then subordinate to that asset is going to be borrower qualifications. So there are going to be some borrower requirements, right? So, but they're going to be subordinate to the asset, right? Just like we were talking about. So yeah, you know what? If you don't have perfect credit, you know what? That's okay. Some hard money lenders will have a credit requirement. You know, some lenders. And the second thing that is really important, you know, talking about a hard money loan qualification for a borrower, we don't run tax returns. We don't return in bank statements or income or W-2s like typical banks do. We do need to make sure you got a little cash in the bank.
Well, absolutely.
Because while
you got to make the payments,
I'll give you 100% of your money needed to buy that property and fix it up, you still are going to need some operating capital to front your draws or pay your interest, pay your guys, you know, things like that. So we're going to make sure we're going to have that conversation before we do it.
So you got to have a little bit, but let's say like it's a $100,000 house and it needs $40,000 in rehab. Like, you don't need $140,000 to flip the house. You may need 5 or 10, maybe a little bit more, you know, just as a cushion to get you through those points. But you don't need a ton of money to flip houses. A hard money lender is, you know, crucial in the investment game.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I'll add on top of that is hard money loans are a great tool, okay? And that's what it is. It's a tool for an investor, right? And what are tools? They're intended for a specific job. I like to say sometimes where, hey, I got the screw and I need to get the screw in this fence, but I've got a hammer and I've got a nail gun or a screwdriver. I could use that hammer and try to pound it in there, and I can get it in there eventually. Why not use the tool that was intended for that specific purpose? Get it done much more efficiently, much quicker. Get in and out of that project and on to the next project.
Let's talk about terms. 12 months, 6 months, a year. Points in, points out. I guess run through a typical $100,000 deal. Like, what are they looking out of pocket to close on?
Yeah, that's a great question. Let's run through an example. Let's start with that, and then we can jump into some of the typical terms. Say we have a $200,000 house. It'll be worth $200,000 after you make some repairs to the property, right? You know the area. You know that you can buy it at a discount because it's dilapidated. All right. Well, this might be a good candidate for hard money. You're going to want to go check out that property. Walk that property, see what repairs need to be made. Let's say you walk that property and like in our example, it needs $40,000. It needs a new roof, needs foundation, needs paint, carpet, whatever. Let's just say equals $40,000. Well, with hard money, you can get actually up to 70% of that future value. Okay, I said something there that's a little bit different from most people's understanding of how banks work, right? Because what banks do is they say, all right, what is that property worth? It's worth $100,000. Great, I'll lend you 80% of that. Okay, great. Well, now I'm bringing 20%
plus whatever it's going to cost to fix it up.
Absolutely. So what I said a little bit different is, let's go off that future value. Okay, so we're being a little bit speculative here. That allows you to get into that property 70% of that future value. That we call that the after repair value.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
ARV. I'm sure y'all heard that ARV gets thrown around.
70% of the ARV is a quick calculation. So on $200,000 loan, that's $140. I'm sorry, a $200,000 valuation, that's a $140,000 loan, right? So whenever I tell my folks to go, how do I calculate what I should offer? Go walk that property, You know it's worth $200,000 all fixed up. Do the calculation in your head. Okay, 70% would be 140. You're going to want to subtract those repairs off of that loan amount, because the goal is to get into these deals with as little cash as possible.
Absolutely.
And that's how we're doing this. So if we found out that the repairs cost $40,000, you're going to subtract that $40,000 from the 140 max loan amount that your hard money lender will do, and that gives you your offer right there of $100,000. So that's what I'm going to bring to that seller and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I've got $100,000 cash. We'll be able to close this thing in under a week. Does that sound good to you? And so that's another reason why folks use hard money.
Quick.
And
You're looking at 30 days or longer.
Yeah. One thing I will add, I said something that I don't want to confuse you guys. A lot of our investors say they're making cash offers, right? And that's some of the sellers, some of the agents that you're dealing with might not quite understand that, because you are technically getting a loan. The way I explain that to my title companies, to my agents, or you know what, this is a cash equivalent. This is a private loan. This is not a bank loan. I'm not qualifying as a buyer with an appraisal and underwriting like a typical bank does. So I can close this thing like cash in under a week. Okay, it's a private loan between me and my partner. That's typically the explanation I give to my seller to get around that, because you're not trying to deceive people. When you're saying you're doing a cash offer, but it's a cash equivalent offer.
And make sure, I'll tell you one thing that frustrates me. I've got a house on Maldonado and Sabine, and I had a cash offer come in, and I asked Colin, I was like, hey, did you get a proof of funds? He's like, no, I didn't. And just kind of how they started doing some things in the beginning, I was like, man, I bet it's a hard money loan, and I bet these are rookies and don't know what they're doing. They're just going around tying up properties and then sending Daniel the paperwork saying, here, go let me know if what I did is right. And come to find out, the lender wouldn't loan what I wanted on it, and I knew that from the beginning, and they backed out. So make sure you understand, like what he said earlier, know your numbers before you go in. Don't just go in there and write, blanket offers and then let Daniel run around and do your numbers for you, because you're going to waste a lot of people's time. What about timeline? 12 months, right? Interest only?
Yeah. So what a hard money loan, it's typically going to be a high interest rate loan in a short period of time. Typically 6 months to 12-month term. Okay. Yeah. So it's again, these are high interest rate loans to the tune of anywhere from 10 to 14% interest. Okay. But they're interest only. They're not going to be amortized like a typical bank note, right? So on just quick math, on a $100,000 loan at 12% interest, it's $1,000 a month.
You turn that in 4 months, which you should be flipping a house in about 4 months, and then it costs you $4,000.
Yeah,
that's cheap. That's cheap money.
What I tell borrowers too is don't only, when you're evaluating a project, don't only think about, okay, my purchase price and my repair costs. Don't just think about those things. Think about the cost of your closing costs. Think about the cost of your money, because that's what you're doing, right? You're buying money, renting money for a certain amount of time. It should be calculated into your profitability.
The last thing is, I'm sure someone's going to ask, well, I want to buy a rental, and I use hard money for a rental.
When somebody comes at me and says, hey Daniel, I want to buy this property and keep it as a rental, what I'm going to ask them is say, all right, have you already been talking to a long-term loan? Have you been pre-approved
cash out
to refinance out a hard money loan? And I'll tell you, those are my favorite type of loans, because I know it's a proven exit strategy. It's already pre-approved they're already qualified with the bank. So as soon as they're done with that renovation, they're cashing me out.
Yep.
We're not sitting on the market. We're not hoping somebody comes and makes an offer.
So use you to get the house, duplex, whatever it is, rehab it, rent it out. Already have talked to your bank prior. Make sure you got an approval ahead of time, or at least a pre-approval. Once it's rented out, refi out, cash him out, and you're good to go. And there are some banks that will loan on the value. Let's say it's worth $200,000 whenever it's completely rented out. They'll loan, let's say 80%, right? So they're loaning 160, and the loan to you may only be 150.
Yeah, those are typically called like cash out refinance.
Yeah.
And it's depending on what my opinion is, it really just depends on what you're trying to use that cash for. I like to leave my equity in the house, right? That's, we can strip that equity out if we need to, but it's all about building wealth.
Cash
right?
flows, more cash flow.
It's not a perfect answer one way or the other, but in my opinion, I leave my equity alone unless I absolutely need.
I agree.
So.
Well, I think that'll get people's heads spinning enough for now. If y'all have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I'll also have Daniel's phone number, contact information, etc. You can reach out to him if you have any questions on the hard money side. And just one more thing we're trying to do to help our White Line Realty agents out and become better, not just better agents, but better real estate professionals all the way around. We highly encourage investing and hope this helps. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
And then I'll give you his number.
Boom! That was the best pancake I've ever had.
You have a pancake?
Wow! Yeah, did you try it?
No, I just watched
Oh my gosh! It doesn't.
fantastic.
I mean, you would never eat a regular pancake.
So this is a gluten-free pancake?
So like
Yeah.
the whole time we're out here
I mean, it was
interviewing,
Asian channel.
I was just eating pancakes.
you're out there just eating pancakes.